Evening.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to a very, very cool episode of the League of Extraordinary Vapers. If anyone can't spot the difference, we have a guest down in the bottom corner there tonight with us. None other than Mr. Kleizo himself from Purge. Good evening, Matt.
What's up, gents?
How we doing, Matt? You all right?
Yes, sir. Good.
Good.
So, what we normally do is we do a what's everybody vaping, just go through and just show what everybody's vaping and stuff, what everybody's using. So, do you want to start, Josh?
Go ahead.
Do you want me to start? I can start.
Go on then, Josh.
I can start. I'm on my SQ this evening with Redemption and a half moon tip on top. Andy's coils inside as usual, and that's got some. I've just discovered this Fresh Vape Co. Urban Avenue. It's a blue raz and grape.
Nice.
And it's phenomenal. It's really good. It tastes a little bit like Cowpole, but like not overpowering. But it's so good, so good.
Nice.
I've also got my Morningstar reactor with a QP25 on top, looking a little Fatality 25, looking a little bit like a lightsaber, but I just fancy something a bit different.
And I like those QPs, dude.
They're good. They're so good. And that's got Mr. Waffle blueberry ice cream inside.
Blue waffle, eh?
Blue waffle.
Yeah.
And then mix, just my little mouth to lung, 20 milligram. And that's got some peachy by salt inside. That's it. That's all I got today.
So, should we have our guest go next? Matt, what are you vaping?
I don't have any of my Purge Mods with me, and I apologize about that. I'm at my home office. So normally when I'm at my business office, my whole table's filled up with my Purge Mods and decks and everything. But I got two little janky disposables that I'm working with here today. That's it. I mean, I don't like when I'm at home, I normally, because my kids and stuff, believe it or not, I don't vape in my house. Like, big clouds. I'll use something small. I don't want my kids to be around it, so I don't do that. So when I'm in my house, so I'm at my home office. I don't really have anything to show you guys. And you know what? This was so quick. Like yesterday, he's like, "Hey, you want to come on?" I was like, "You know what? Yeah, I'll come on and talk a little bit with you guys." So I'm totally unprepared, or else I would have brought something and kind of showed some stuff off. So
that's right. I mean, just one of them things, mate.
Always another time, Matt. Always another time.
Yeah.
I'm on my SQ Squon Cargo next, the top side version with a dead rabbit. I'm vaping some Vappy peanut custard in there, and I've got the new Rinko Mantu Max Pod kit plus RDA plus everything else kit, and I've got some Dead Man's Hand number 88 in that one, and that's all I'm on tonight. Just two devices.
Nice. I've just got my Predator, my custom DNA lipo with Elite V 3.2 on there, and on some of the strawberry sad boy. Just thought I'd give it another try because I didn't really like it the strawberry first time round. So I was sat on the side for ages, and I picked it back up, and I'm actually enjoying it now. But yeah, that's all I'm on tonight. I haven't got massive devices with me either. They're all in the other room.
Okay then. Right, so obviously we've got Matt with us, so we're going to go through our pretty standard interview thing and ask Matt how he got into vaping to start with, and then how Purge came about. So over to you, Matt. Yeah.
Man, it's been a long time. So back, probably 8-9 years ago, I went through a divorce, right? I don't drink. I don't smoke pot. I don't do none of that stuff. And I went through a divorce, and long story short, I started smoking cigarettes. Didn't smoke for 20-something years. Started smoking cigarettes just because it was so stressful. Literally, when I got out of my divorce, I was literally had 3 bags of clothes. That was it. She got everything except for my son. I got full custody of my son. So that was the one thing I wanted, which is really cool. So I started smoking. So anyways, my new girlfriend at the time was like, "Hey, try this vaping thing." And to be honest with you, 9 years ago, I was like, vaping is the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Seriously. I was like, I'm not going to do it. right? So anyways, I tried to quit again. And then finally she says, listen, I'll buy you your first vape, right? I said, all right. I said, I'll try, right? So I tried it, never picked up another cigarette again. And I said, and when I seen that, and I said, this thing really works, I actually started looking at it. I started looking at the, potential from 9 years ago, what the growth potential was over the next, 5-10 years. And I said, you know what? I said, either I'm going to start start a business, or I'm going to buy a house for me and my son. Right. So I'd saved up $40,000 and after my divorce. And I said, well, I'm going to start a business. So I started Fast Eddie's Vape Shop and Lounge in Orlando, Florida. And from there, just because like my background is in a lot of international sales and all that stuff. So I started, long story short, started Vape Shop. And then I started reaching out to American companies like Avid Life, Comp Life, Rogue, all these different Scoundrel, all these different mech mod companies. And because I had contacts over in China, right? So I broke all of these mech mod companies into China. Like I was the largest distributor for Avid Life, Comp Life, Scoundrel back in those days. All the mech mod companies used to come to me to get their products into China. So I had exclusive distribution rights for all these companies that went over there. So, and what I'm going to tell you, we used to sell a metric ton of product into China. We sold, and back in those days, they were crazy for American-made mech mods. The market's changed a little bit. So I started doing that, and then you know what? I said, gosh, man. I said, you know what? I said, I like this mod. I like some parts off this. I like some parts off that. I said, I think I can make something better, right? So I developed Purge Mods, and we already had a worldwide distribution at that point. We were into Europe. We were into China. Our wholesale our wholesale division was doing really well in the U.S. And so I came up with Purge Mods and basically infused it into my distribution channel. And from that point on, here we are. And that's been, beginning of 2016 for Purge Mods. So beginning of 2016 for Purge Mods, and here we are, and it's almost 2021. So still going strong.
That's one hell of a journey. Guys, you must remember you've muted your mic, some of you, when you try and speak, by the way, as well.
I don't think Andy was muted. I just think his mic's
gone right. Sorry, we've had
we're nicely professional.
Zippy's joined us. I'm just trying to unmute him so he can say something, and I can't unmute him now for some reason.
Evening.
There we go. Matt, this is one of the other panel members, Zippy. You probably know him from the Half Moon guys.
Hey, man, what's going on, Zippy?
Oh, good, man. How you doing?
Good, very good.
Good. That's what we like to see, man.
That's where we're at, man. We've been, we've been pushing for years upon years, and just working in the industry, and we built a great name, and I sell product to almost every country around the world, and it's been a great ride. Last year was just crazy with the just the vape market. Last year was really rough. It was rough last year.
Yeah.
So
I imagine it's been quiet this year as well with the whole COVID situation and everything else as well.
It's very hard to navigate business right now in the U.S. Right, and when you have a business last year, before all that, the whole big, the black market THC carts that had the vitamin D acetate that people were dying, and then all over the news they were saying quit vaping now. I went from 44 employees down to 11 by the end of the year. I mean, that's how hard we got hit. And it was rough. And then we got into the beginning of the year, and then we started seeing a rebound, because then everything kind of went away. And they said, oh, you know what? It was the black market THC carts that had it. It's not the vaping. So now we're getting back up, and all of a sudden, wham, here comes COVID. It's we're like, what the fuck? I mean, there's no shows to go to. There's, all the European shows that I know of are closed. There's nowhere for us to go, to kind of like travel to. And right now, who really wants to get on a plane to begin with? I'm like, okay, so last year was just kind of a wash for us. This year we're here. I don't see us traveling anytime this year. I'm hoping that 2021 for our industry worldwide is going to be a lot better than it was over the last year and a half. I can tell you that.
I don't think it'll probably get that much worse. Sorry.
No.
I was just going to say, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now. I do.
Good. Yeah, I just changed the battery in my mic. It just completely died on me. But yeah, we got confirmation from Vapor Expo over here in the UK that nothing's going to be happening until at least May next year, even though they did put tickets on sale for a day or two, which is why we contacted them to ask them, because we were like, hang on a minute, we know that it's not happening in October, but they did put them on sale for a day, but then they took them back down. So there's going to be no shows this year. Definitely not in the UK. I mean, I don't know anywhere else.
Hall at Vapor at Stuttgart's cancelled. Madrid's cancelled. Paris is cancelled. There won't be any until I'd say middle of next year at least.
They do have the ICEC show in China, which is the largest show in the world. If nobody's ever been, and I'm going to say this, if you've never been to a vape show, and I mean, a lot of people like the Hall of Vapes over in Germany, right, in Stuttgart. Yeah. That's a great show. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't even pale in comparison to ICEC in Shenzhen.
I was watching Geek Vape's feed of that this weekend. It looked immense. It was huge. It's
massive. It's complete. It's just massive. It's every new product that hits the market, and there's football fields upon football fields upon football fields, soccer fields, as you would say in the UK, or football, soccer, same thing, whatever, right? Same thing, whatever. But fields of literally rows and rows and rows of just nothing but different industries. So, but of course, I'm not going to travel to China right now. I really don't want to go over there right now. So.
Yeah. You couldn't pay me enough money to go to China right now.
No.
That's definitely off my bucket list at the moment to go see the Great Wall of China. But it's the same as anything, though. I mean, I've got a lot of friends that are still involved with dog showing, and they're all talking now about how they're going to get dog shows back up and going, because obviously they're only allowed a certain amount of people in the building. These are the rules that the government are setting down. So they're like, right, no spectators. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of these things like Crufts next year now, which is at the NEC where we normally have our expos, like the big expos over here. I don't even think that's going to be on because of the amount of people that go there to watch it. The amount of people will all be in one place. It'd just be a disaster waiting to happen. So I think that we're not going to really see any sort of shows until the middle of next year, come maybe towards the end. It's some sort of normalcy anyway.
Well, we see over here in the U.S., I would imagine right after the election, things are going to clear up a little bit. So, they're going to figure out who's going to be president. Either it's going to be Trump or Biden. And once that kind of solidifies, I think that the country is going to get back to some kind of normalcy, man, with all the, the riots and stuff going on over here. So,
I mean, that's been a subject that we've kind of said that we don't want to bring up on here at all. Not because of any other reason. We just don't want because it's easy to say the wrong thing and it took the wrong way. So we kind of avoid that subject. But I think it's been crazy out there. And it's so just looking at the comments that we got down there.
There's quite a few.
We got a lot of people in there. So. What also we wanted to ask you about, Matt, was the videos that you did yesterday, that we saw yesterday. I don't know when it was actually put up. I saw it yesterday. You did a live video where you were explaining about some patents that you've actually got.
Sure.
So it basically, everybody went all into a bit of a, how can I say, a shit fit, for want of a better word. Saying, you own the rights to all mech mods, and this and that and the other, and constant contact switches, side fires. And then there's other people, and they're like, well, you know, that can't be right because of this, because of that. And I'm no expert on patent law. I mean, I haven't got, you know, the first clue about it. I'll be honest with you, you know.
Sure.
So if you could explain roughly in layman's terms what patents you've actually got and why you've got them, Morton.
Okay. So first of all, let me tell you this. I did not file my patents to put anybody out of business, to stronghold them and go, oh, guess what? You have to pay me now for those designs. That is not the reason why I did it. Right. Do I own those patents? Yes, I do.
So they've been granted. You've been granted them patents. You've actually got them, or
so
you filed for
I
them.
work with a set of engineers. I work with a law firm in the United States, Allen and Dyer, and I brought many patents to, you know, for different people. I consult companies on how to bring those patents quickly. Like, for example, we have a full utility patent issued in the United States for a sub-ohm botanical extract disposable tank. Yeah, disposable. Right. So let's say you ever see those little carts? They have the THC carts, you know, whatever. So a guy came to me, and I'm not going to say the name or anything like that, but you know, he said, "Listen, I need to get this on the market. I need to get it done as quickly as possible." And this is the first ever sub-ohm botanical. It's literally like taking a bong hit, like literally, if you know what that is. I don't smoke, but I said, you know what? I got it. We got it issued within 4 months. So for that. But here's the thing. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, because I have a lot of guys that are that own mech mod companies that are friends of mine, right? Yeah. Cool. And a lot of them are young, and they don't, you know, they're very new to business. They don't understand it. You know, they're just trying to get it there to a point. So, you know, when I started these patents that I own, I started many years ago when I started getting counterfeited, right? So I was trying to fight these counterfeiters hard, you know, like owning my trademarks all over the world. I have that. You know, owning a side fire, a patent for a side fire, I have that. Owning a patent for a mechanical mech mod, I have that. Owning a patent for a constant contact switch, I have that. Now, do I plan on, if somebody came out with a mod that was a constant contact switch, do I plan on going after them? Absolutely not. I don't want that. The reason why, because you need to have competition in the market. You need to.
But constant contact switches have been around for a while, though. But
it doesn't. It's first to patent. It doesn't mean just because you came out with something, if you didn't patent it, that's not my fault. Right. That's not. And I don't. And it's not like I'm stealing their design, because there's a lot of designs that I've come out with that's never been on the market that now everybody uses my designs. Right. I could name them off one by one by one by one. Right. But I just don't, you know, it's where, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to go after a company and sue them and spend tons of money to get what? To get nothing. So what I really did them for was to handle the cloners, right? And these big guys that are these retail shops that are selling clones, because that's the real problem, right? The problem is not another mech mod company coming out with a constant contact switch. I want them to come out with a constant contact switch because, one, you get no arcing on your battery, and it's better for battery safety. 100%. Yeah. It's just better all the way around, right? If you don't have a constant contact switch on your battery, you have arcing to the battery, which causes a bigger chance of the battery failing, and then you have an explosion, right? So, but you know, like what Alicat said, you know, I do it mainly for the cloners. So when I find a retail location that says, well, you know, this is, you know, this is counterfeit products, it's counterfeit. I have all my ducks in a row to go after a retail establishment. And what I mean by that is HC Gate. I've gone after all these big companies. I take one down, another one pops up. You take one down, another one pops up. So that's my main thing. You know, going after or saying, hey, I have these and I'm going to stronghold everybody. Man, I'm not doing that. Like Steve Kennedy, he's my buddy. I talk to him probably every other day. Lindsay, the owner of Avid Life, she's a great friend of mine, right? You know, like all these guys that own these mech mod companies, man, I applaud them, man. Let's do business. You know, shoot, I'll even sell your products. I love it. I love selling mech mods, man. That's what I've been doing for a long time.
I mean,
Now,
you know, it's one of them things, like you say, like, you know, if you're not going to go after the other mech mod companies and stuff, then and it's aimed solely at the cloners, that's great. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, a lot of people like that. Then they're kind of interpreting it as you own the patent on every side-fire mod, you own the patent on every mech mod. I mean,
is the specifics within the patent? That's what I wanted to ask you, Matt, personally.
yeah.
Because obviously you showed the constant contact one on your live, and there was diagrams and quite clearly measurements and everything on there. So is that patent for that exact firing switch?
No. So let's say, for example, okay? So let's say you have a constant contact and you want to come out with a constant contact. If you have to move something that makes contact with that, whether it be on the bottom, whether it be on the side, it's a constant contact. I own the patent on that. You can't just change a few different measurements on a something and then what are you going to name it? It's a constant contact. I own a patent that says constant contact. So it'd be very hard for a company to go to or somebody to go to and go, well, I own this new constant contact. Well, how is it new? How is it new? You know, there's only so many ways you can make a mech mod. There's only so many ways. You just can't, you know, you can't, like, I'm running out of ideas. I'm racking my head going, oh my God, what am I going to come out with next? How can I make this better, right? How can I make these better, safer, you know, aesthetically good looking and powerful? That's my goal when I look at Purge Mods. How can I make it better, right? And so when I find a way to make it better and I feel as though it's something that I can patent, I patent and then I release it. So it's already done. And then what you'll have is you'll have guys come out and copy me down the road, and it's okay. But listen, man, it's like if somebody wanted to use, I'm a business guy, right? So if somebody said, hey, Matt, they reached out to me and said, hey, Matt, I want to use your bottom housing in my new mod, but I want to change the top of it to something else. And I'll pay you a royalty off every mod I sell. Great, let's sign the paperwork. Let's do it. I would do it. Why wouldn't I? I'm a business guy, right? I'd send you the designs. Here you go, buddy. Put it in your mod. You know what I'm saying? Let's work together. Great, no problem. I did that with, I'm not going to say his name. There was a gentleman that had a side fire. I looked at his stuff. He's a good friend of mine. I said, hey, that's exactly like mine. You really can't do that. You know what he said? He goes, I'll pay you. I said, great. He did it. He pays me. No problem. I'm not going to say any names. I don't have any problems with that. I leave him alone, right? Now, if somebody just takes my designs and then acts like a complete dick, right? And there's a lot of them out there that are just, for some reason, very hard to work with, you know, and feel as though that if you're against, if you don't have their mod in your hand, that you're against their company, and that's not true. It's like Pepsi and Coke. People like what they like. It's just the way it is. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like there's plenty of money out there for everybody to have a business. It's people
kind of
fighting is stupid.
It's kind of been like ended up like team sports where you've got supporters for one company and supporters for another company, and they're all arguing and amongst themselves and that. And, I mean, I basically stay away from stuff like that on social media because I've got enough stress in my life as it is. But you know, you'll always get people that will argue and come up and misconstrue what people say and stuff like that. Like I say, like yesterday, loads of people were like, oh no, what's going to happen now to all the companies that have already got constant contact switches out? What's going to, you know, where does that leave them? Are they going to end up paying royalties for something that they already had out before?
When did they have it out? Probably not. I would tell you this, not before I did.
I don't know about that, Matt.
I'm just saying, there's so many different things. Like they might have had it out over in the UK or maybe over in Russia a year or two ago, but they didn't have it in the US. So when I have it in the US and I file a patent in the US because nobody has it, right?
Nobody has
file
the
a patent in the US. I mean, it's just the way it is. And so I do it to protect my product, right? It's my product, right? It's their product. So, I don't, like I said, I'm not doing it to I would never put somebody out of business. I'm not going to go after somebody and I'm just not going to do that, man. It's a waste of money. It hurts our industry. And like you said, it's like, your favorite sports, right? So you have these different mech mod companies, and each one of these different mech mod companies we can rally. It's the culture of vaping is, mech mods rule the world, man. It's in the vaping industry. Mech mods is where it was at and has been at for years. That's where the culture is at.
Yeah, there we go. Look, Nick Bradley Sutton, Sub-Ohm Innovations have had a constant contact switch out for about 6 years.
They're out of business.
They are out of business. That is very true.
They're out of business.
They no longer exist, do they?
Yeah.
No.
But that's kind of what I was getting at, was that it is an idea that's already existed. I didn't think myself that you could patent an idea that already existed without it having something novel or something distinct or do you know what I mean? There had to be something in particular about it. If it was an existing product, like some sort of improvement or some sort of novel design, like, for example, like what you're saying now, the constant contact switch, makes it slightly different. So you patented that bit. But that's the bit that I just don't get, is that these products are already out in the market or have been out in the market. Go on.
In the US, it's first to patent.
Right. Okay.
Around the world, it's first to patent. That's when you go to court and you spend $100,000 fighting whatever. But you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, well, why didn't you patent it if you thought it was that good of a product?
Fair point, actually. Very fair point.
Right?
Yeah, nobody patents in the vape industry. Nobody. Well, other than yourself, obviously, I've not seen or heard of anybody actually patenting anything in the vape industry, whether that goes from a coil to whatever,
Okay, let me tell you a perfect example. I have a jewel in my hand. You know how big of a patent? You can't even come out with one of these. Try to. They'll slam you. They'll put you out of business. They've already filed lawsuits on. Do you see any more removable pods out on the market? Nope. You know why? They put everybody out of business. You can't get these.
Yeah, and who they couldn't, they bought.
Right. So here's the difference between Jewel and me. I'm not going to do that. I'm protecting my brand. If you're a responsible business owner, right, the first things that you do is you protect your brand. You get your trademarks. You copyright your stuff immediately. If you have a device that you invented and that you put on the market and you don't have a patent within a certain amount where you can protect your device, you might as well kiss that device goodbye, because somebody's going to steal it and they're going to patent it. Yeah. And then what are you going to do? You're sitting there holding your balls going, damn, I fucked up. Right. And it's nobody's fault but your own. It's so if you don't spend, and listen, each one of my patents costs a minimum of $30,000.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not cheap. It's not a cheap process. So you've got to have a patent attorney, somebody who specializes.
I have a staff of engineers. I have patent attorneys who know how to write everything the way it needs to go, put it into the system and get it expedited. Actually, you pay extra money to have it expedited, to have it back within 4 months. I know the process of doing all that stuff. If somebody needs to know about that, hey, here's your chance. Reach out to me. I'll help you. If you have a device and you want to know, it's going to cost you, but I'll help you. Right? I'll show you how it's done. So, it's all.
then there's the whole thing of, you know, people are like, right, okay, so have these patents been granted, or are they just filed and are you waiting for them to come back? So you've actually got these are actually secured, and you've got the patents for all of these devices.
My patents are filed. They have not been granted yet, but they are enforceable in a court of law. I've already enforced them 3 different times already.
Right. Okay. Right. Got you. Yeah.
So
it's like a
once they're in the process, they're enforceable.
Yeah. Once they're done and they're filed, and it shows that I own the concept of it, that if somebody were to come out with a thing and they were to go to filed, one, it would get kicked back and they'd say, no, you can't do that. It's already one in process. And then it would be basically a court. You'd have to go to court, and then you just fight over nothing.
Yeah.
You fight over nothing.
That's what I was wondering is, like, you know, because people can challenge the patents, other companies, right? That, you know, if you file a patent, another company says, hey, you know, we're already making this and have been for a while, but, you know, if it says for it's in a different, if it's being used in a different industry, for example, you know, like can't file wire, you know, like, and it's been took across. If somebody tried to patent it from one, you know, using, they said, hey, look, we're already using this. You can't patent, you know, that because we're already using this. What happens then? Does the patent get kicked back? Do you then go to court and the judge decides who is the right? Do you know what I mean? Like you say, it's the first to patent. But if they can prove that they fought it up and had been doing it before you, I mean, where do they stand?
So here's the deal. Here's the deal, right? And I think here's where the big confusion's at. You know, and I'm seeing people kind of put some stuff, I'm seeing some stuff come up.
Yeah.
So, you know, here's the deal. If you have a design that you think that you came up with and it was on the market or whatever, and you're going to go to court and go, well, that was my design, right? One, you have to prove it. And two, the big question, and I'm going to say this, is if you thought it was such a big idea and you have products out there, why didn't you patent it? Because then I could say, well, it wasn't his design. He copied it from somebody else. He copied it from me, right? And so then it gets into a very lengthy court battle. Costs buku bucks, right? And at the end of the day, my patents are only for those counterfeiters out there that are actually putting Purge on the product, calling them Purge. So I have all of my stuff going, I own it, I own it, I own it, I own it. Let's get them, right? I'm not going to go after, like I said, I'm not going to go after a company out of the UK, which I have business partners in the UK, and I do a lot of business in the UK. Evolution Vapes, I do a lot of business all over Europe, right? Many different companies out of Europe, right? And the one thing that I've learned is that when you work with your company and you're ethical and you have morals and you stand behind your product, it goes a lot farther than trying to destroy everybody that you come in contact with. It just doesn't do good for our industry, right? I applaud anybody that wants to come out with a vape product right now. Right now, I would tell you right now, starting the vape industry is a bad idea. If you're not already in the vape industry, it's a bad idea. Really bad idea, right? You're going to throw a lot of money at products that probably, unless you have a massive amount of money, probably is not going to make it. You know, like honestly, if I were to start on my company right now today, I would not do it.
On that note, Matt, should I cancel my design of my mech mod then?
No, I mean, listen, man. You know, it's you know, I run my company. I have a business. You know, I have healthcare for my employees. I have, you know, I do everything on a very business wise. You know, it's not a hobby for me.
It's professionally run.
It's very professionally run. You know, I have business partners. You know, some of them that are in the UK. You know, the Flurries, very good friends of mine, right? And you know, we do everything very professional. You know, and so when you do things professional, it just screams that way. And a lot of guys that start let's see, because you're small individual have 300 patents, something the way back you have for some individuals, cost producer products is a massive issue. It is. It's just, I saw that, right? You know, it's not easy. It's not easy getting product out there. And then again, it's not easy getting into a distribution channel to where that product will be successful. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. Everybody knows that, you know?
Definitely.
I've spent the last decade traveling the world, you know, making business relationships with people in, you know, Abu Dhabi, Iraq, Sweden, Germany, France, Belgium, you know, China. And, you know, it's not been easy. It's been a long, long road, man. It's been a long road, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that the Middle East, there's a lot going on over there at the moment, like mech mods and stuff have really took off big over there. I don't know what's going on. I saw something about somebody selling clones or something or other, where you're getting companies out there, and what they're doing apparently is they're getting stuff off companies such as yourself or other mech mod companies, saying they're an official reseller, and then they're also buying clones as well, and they're selling them under, you know what I mean? They're doing it like that.
Right.
Is that actually something that they're doing? Because I mean, I just can't believe.
I mean, you know, listen, I deal with it all the time. So, you know, here I do a lot of things different. I have okay, let me first off say this, okay? If anybody knows anything about manufacturing within the US, okay? Within the USA, manufacturing is so expensive.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you. Okay. Let me give you, I'm going to say, so let's look at this guillotine, the new mod that I just came out with, okay? The new mod. You want to know, and I'm going to release what my cost is. My cost is on that mod to make it in the U.S., $142. That's how much that mod cost me to make in the USA, $142.
And that's before you've advertised it, before you've done any sort of promotional work. That's just getting the design done and a working prototype and ready to manufacture.
$142 basically per mod. The guillotine is made, the bar is made out of a solid block of 464 naval brass, which the you know, you can't just go in there and go and it takes 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You can't do that. And then you have another block that's of brass that it's made out of, that they got to basically do. Then they do the engraving around the Ragnar, the Hagerman one that I just came out. $142 that cost me. If I were to go to China and have those made in China, that would cost me about $18. That's the price difference that you're looking at. And so a lot of people has always asked me, why do you do it? Why don't you just go over to China? One is because, you know, I'm just like you guys are. The UK is a great nation. You know, they're you know, I love the people there. Everybody there. Europe, fantastic. The USA is a great nation, man. We pride ourselves on American-made, good quality stuff. Every one of my mods are handmade in my manufacturing facility. You know, when it gets to our place, basically we hand polish everything. We do everything. You know, and we can't make them fast enough. I only have enough to make enough during a certain month, right? It just costs a lot of money to make stuff in the US, you know, compared over to China. The real problem is, right? This is the part that where a lot of companies or a lot of people don't understand. Let me put this out here. If the products are made over in China and you're paying $200 for a mod, you're being ripped off. Might I just tell you, you're being ripped off. That and it all comes down to what you're making, right? So would you rather pay $400 for a mod that cost me $142 to make retail, right? So my margins are low, or would you rather pay $200 for a mod when it only costs them $18 to make, or probably less?
Yeah, I mean, I've looked into getting mods made out in China and stuff, and you know, for batches of like 300 and stuff, for anything that's sort of not just a basic tube, it's around about $30 ish. You know, that's the price.
How's that possible? How's that possible when they're selling clone Purge Mods for $20?
Oh, no.
Because they're doing mass product, aren't they?
Yeah,
this is for a limited run.
That's what I'm saying. It's for 300. Say I wanted 300 mods made, only that 300. Yeah, I'm just starting out. I haven't got deep pockets, you know, so I'm not going to say, right, I want 3,000 made, because I don't know if I'm going to sell 30, let alone 3,000. Do you know what I mean? 300 or 3,000. So they say minimum order quantity for the first lot, you know, is that, and that's what it worked out to, was around, and depending on how many different moving parts and this and that and the other, the price went up, you know,
Sure.
like depending for the machine and stuff.
Sure.
So, you know, I know that you can get clones, and I know that you can get some white label mods and stuff like that very, very cheap. But to have OEM, like your own designs done by, there's a bit more, you know what I mean? It's sort of like double the cost roughly. So if they're selling for 200 and they're paying $40 a mod and they're selling for 200, then their profit margins aren't really that much more than yours.
No, they're a lot more. They're over 50% margin, you know, which is fantastic margin on their products. You know, like say for example, and listen, once again, I'm not downing anybody for making anything over in China. I have some new products. I have a new RDA. Hold on, I'm going to put this shirt up. I'm not going to say anything about it, but I'm just going to put this shirt up. So I have a new RDA coming out that's being made in China. I have a new RTA that's coming out that's being made in China. And I have a new tank and coils that are coming out and being made in China. And I have a new pod system that in 2021 that's coming out that's made in China, because you can't make that in the U.S. Like even my Carnage deck that I made in the U.S., you know what it cost me to make my Carnage deck? $23. $23. That's my cost. So when I sell my Carnage deck for $65, I don't sell as many as the guys selling their normal decks for $30, right? So I said, shit, I can't even compete in that market. And plus, you know, who wants to spend $75, $80? The market for those high end products are so low. Everybody wants to spend $30 on an RDA, $30 on $50 on an RTA, right? Yeah. QP, for example, great product, fantastic product. Love the QP, love it, right? So
I mean, they changed their pricing though a lot, because the original, the Fatality, the OG one was like £100 and odd pounds or dollars, you know, like depending on where you bought it. And then when they brought out the M25, they reduced it right the way down to like almost half, I think it was, what the actual cost was. But when you actually take into account that a lot of the research and development was already done in the original one, so they didn't have as much cost overage going into that, you can sort of see why. But they're now coming down, instead of trying to aim for that high-end market where, you know, okay, you're making a big profit, but you're not selling as many. You know, so it's you know, it's low turnover and high profit versus high turnover and lower profit, you know. So I mean, the quality though, I don't think there's any difference in the quality between the original Fatality and the M25. I wouldn't say that it's a cheaper made device or anything like that at all. So, you know, I think they had to be a bit realistic though. There's not that many people these days that want to pay 150 for an RTA. You know, and I think that with all the other products that are on the market that you can get, like, I don't know, for example, Vapers Cloud RTAs and stuff like that. For
great products.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
great
like
great company, great products.
Yeah,
great company, great products. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I like Vapers Cloud stuff myself. I've had, I think, every hog there is apart from the DNA one. So it's no dummy, and the Max are solid. Check out Legion, visit Purge for an awesome insight. Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say, Matt. So your machine shop, is that actually your machine shop? You own that? Or right? Okay, this is another massive misconception, right? Is people think that you've got this great big machine shop,
I do have a machine shop. Yeah, but I don't have a manufacturing like a CNC machine shop. I have a machine shop where I have sandblasters. I have a Cerakote and paint booth. I have an assembly area, and I have a shipping and receiving area. That's what I have. Okay. So I have multiple manufacturers that I would deal with that handles my products. They all do different things, right?
Okay.
So those products come in when they come into and all of them are located in the U.S. Okay, one of them's out of California, and one of them, two of them are in Central Florida, right? So when they come into my product, it comes in, everything gets hand checked, make sure everything looks good. Then it goes into production. Boom, goes into production. If it's a solid metal, like if it's just brass or copper, and that's what we're selling, then it heads over to my buffing station. We have probably about 4 or 5 different buffing stations standing behind this big giant air vacuum that just sucks all the air out, so that it keeps people safe. They wear face masks and everything when they buff it. So they buff my mods. If it goes in the painting booth, it goes over to the sandblasters. They have to sandblast every one of our mods, and then it goes over to my painter, which is, his name is Lee. He's a good buddy of mine. Lee goes in and he paints all the mods. They paint it, then they cook it, and then they bring it out, and then it goes in assembly, and then it goes over into packaging. And then after all that, they still check every single one that comes through to make sure 510's good. All the bolts are good. There's no scratches on it. There's no none. It's very time consuming from the point it gets in to the point it gets out. But we've been doing it for so long that the process, we have such a great process of doing it.
So, Matt, just on the Legion thing, when they actually came to you, what was that workshop they went to then? Was that one of the ones you sort of put out your devices to go to? So that wasn't actually your shop?
No, wasn't.
No, everybody thinks it is. Like, everybody thinks that's your shop, mate. Like, I'm not even joking. Everybody thinks that's your shop. And how you're in there and you're basically machining all of these mods by hand. You've got Jason Hagerman there engraving every single one by hand. And that's this misconception that people have got. And I'm kind of like, look, guys, you really need to understand that that's not the way that this is at all. But
listen, I've thought about, okay, let me tell you something. So let's say in order for you to really make good quality mods, there's a few different CNC machines that you have to have. One, you have to have a 5-axis machine. You have to have a lathe. You have to have a 4-axis machine. Okay, that's just 3 machines. Each one, like a 5-axis machine, is probably going to cost you about $750,000 for one 5-axis machine.
Wow.
One.
This is why I keep saying to people, he hasn't got a whole big machine shop leasing it.
Machine is probably going to cost you might as well take about another quarter million off. That's going to cost you about $500,000. And then a lathe, a CNC lathe, is going to cost you, depending on what type of tooling that you have in it. I've been doing it so long, it's going to cost you about $250,000. Now, you can lease all that equipment and pay payments on it and basically do that. But, the machine shop that I work with has about 50 of these machines on it. And they just consistently pump out stuff for me. Absolutely. But here's the deal, right? If I had a machine shop like Steve Kennedy, very good friend of mine, right? Yeah. I've been to his machine shop. He owns his own machines. Yeah. He manufactures his own stuff and he puts it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Big difference. Okay. So if I had that, my cost would be even lower. Mm-hmm. I could lower the cost of my mods if I did that. I thought about doing that.
Yeah, because you're not outsourcing then. You're not outsourcing it to other people. So, because they've got to make money off it. They've got to pay wages. They've got to pay for the equipment, But it's like, this is one of the things. My dad's he's an engineer. He used to be a tool maker. He worked for Rover in the carping. So I know a little bit about machining and cost. Do you know what I mean? How much these machines actually cost. And this is why I've been trying to explain to people, look, there's no way he's got that amount of machines. Like, do you know how much money that is? Like, there's just no way in it. But people, they run away with things, and their imagination, they just run away with stuff. And, they think that, like I say, that these vape companies are these great big corporations, and they're not really great big corporations like what people think. They're a lot of them are small businesses, as in the sense of how many people they actually have working for them, and what they actually do. They don't have hundreds of employees and stuff like that. They might have 10, 12 employees or something, everybody doing a specific job or whatever. I think that people like to run away with their imagination with things,
So most people don't understand how to scale a business that big. Okay, they don't understand that. They're used to going to a job and going home, right? They don't understand all the background work that goes into it, the accounting, the financing. How much does it really cost to run your business, right? How much does it really cost to run your business? Because it's not all right. It's not all about buying a piece of material and doing it on a lathe and then packaging and sending it out. It's about how long did it take you to run it? How much did that material cost? How much was it for each one of my Purge cases, right?
Yeah.
Dude, how much do you think those cost?
They're aren't they gun cases? I mean,
Exactly.
they're gun cases. I'd say they're probably like $20-$30 each or something.
No, I don't pay that much for those. But
that's how much they are retail.
Hey, listen, those are made in China.
Yeah.
Those are made in China. I'm not kidding. I've told everybody, made in China. Absolutely. It's my packaging, right? If I were to get American-made packaging like that, oh my God. I couldn't even handle it.
Well, I don't think that this is the thing, because you've got in America, there's minimum wages. People get paid a decent wage for a decent day's work. Unfortunately, I'm not just saying this about China, but other countries, things aren't quite as fair, or whatever over there. So a lot of companies, they have so I was just reading the comments there. It keeps making me then the distros and the wholesalers have to make a profit, which is even purchased by the end user. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, is a lot of it you don't even actually sell it retail wise yourself. Most of it you're selling at distro pricing to distributors.
We've got to a point in our business where I have a retail spot. I have a retail shop. It's FascinatingVape.com. You can go to FascinatingVape.com. The problem is that when the mods come in, they're all like my sales reps. They're gone. They're immediately gone. They're bought. You got to think, back in my heyday, right? Back in my highest point, I was making about 4,000 mods a month.
Yeah,
4,000. So think about this for a second. Think about this for just 1 minute. Even if you were making 4,000 of anything for an entire world per month, it's nothing. It's like nothing. Think if you could grasp how many bottles of juice are sold worldwide.
I know,
on a monthly basis.
Consumables. Right. This is the thing. Like there, you got consumables which are perishable, and they get used up and they're gone. Whereas somebody buys a mod, it doesn't run out after a couple of weeks or whatever. It's a bit of hardware. They keep that. And until something better comes out, a lot of people. I mean, I'm terrible. I always want the newest thing out. I'm like a
sure
stuff like that. So like I always go and I grab the newest thing. Cost doesn't really bother me that much. If I want it, I'll pay the money, But other people, some people, they might only have one mech mod. They might only have one mech mod and one RDA. And then when something new comes out that catches their eye, they have to sell that to get the money to buy the next one. So this is one of the things that people, when you're making 4,000 mods a month, and like there comes a point of market saturation as well.
Well, hold on. It's not 4,000 of one mod. No.
Yeah.
It's not 4,000 of one mod, and
No.
so it's 4,000 of like 5 or 6 different models, right?
Yeah.
So let's and here we go. And to be honest with you, I don't ever want to get to that point again. Most people are like, "What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you?" I don't.
Too much stress.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much, right? I'm okay with making what I make right now on a monthly basis. What I make doesn't saturate the market. I come out with brand new stuff every 60 days. I'll have something brand new that comes out, right? I have mods already scheduled for the next 6 months. Brand new stuff. No one's even seen it. Badass shit, right? I stay so far ahead of most of my competitors. They just don't even know how to even keep up, right? And I don't do that to put people out of business. I've just built my business to the point where I'm very efficient on how I do things, right? So, there was a guy that came in here. I think it was there's someone that asked a question. I can't see the things. He was asking a question of, said, can I ask an American mod company, well-known or a small company, release a mod, use a switch that you patented, would you be asked for royalties from that? And here's what I would say to you, okay? Would it be worth your while to go contact me first and go, hey, can I use your design in my mod and I'll pay you $1 for every mod that I sell? $1, $1. And I said, and then when it hit the market and everybody started bashing you because you have the same switch as I do, because that's what's going to happen, and I get on there in public and say, no, I allowed him to use it, and it squashed it. Would that be worth $1? Let's say you made 300 mods a month. You had to give me $300 to use my design. Would it be worth it? Most people don't think like that. They go, oh, I'm just going to take it. Why would I give you $300?
Yeah.
So what's the answer to the question then, Matt, though? If they didn't come to you and they still released a constant contact, what would you do then?
If it was identical to my design, right? And it doesn't have to be identical, but if it was identical, threading, the same switch, same everything, I would call him and say, you can't release that.
Yeah.
And at that point. But
that's fair enough, I think, really.
That's cloning. If someone does that, that's cloning. If someone does that, copies the threading, copies, you know what I mean, every single thing, the engravings, the font on the writing, that's cloning then, isn't it?
So, me, on the other hand, you know what I would do is I was coming out with a mod and I wanted to use your switch because I thought your switch or whatever you had on your mod was the baddest on the planet. I would go to you and go, hey, man, could I use your design in my mod? How much would it cost me?
Yeah.
That's what I would do because I'm a business guy. I would say, why do I have to recreate the wheel when I could just go to him and pay him $1 or $2? Who cares?
Remember Hion? Yeah, Hion who? I'm just reading the question, the comments again. Alicat, Alicia said, remember Hion? Didn't they do the death to clones thing? So I don't know whether this was an actual real thing.
They did, man. I used to love the Coetti RDA, man. It's a great RDA.
They did a death to clones thing where they said that if anybody's got a clone Hion and you bring it into an authorized Hion reseller, they'll actually trade it out for you for a real Hion. And I was just thinking, really, why would anybody do that? Because surely you just be opening yourself up to people just going and buying clones and saying, hey, I want to swap it for a real one,
So the real problem that you run into, and I just thought, and here's another problem that I run into all the time. Right? So I've made my product so it's very hard to clone. It's very hard to sell a clone, right? But you still have guys who sell clones as authentic, and they get away with it.
Oh yeah,
all the time. So with mine, I have a booklet, I have a stamp, I have a COA card, I have all this stuff that if I would tell anybody this, if you're buying a Purge Mod on the secondary market and it doesn't come with the case, the COA card, everything that it's supposed to come with, don't buy it. Yeah. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's like buying a car. You have a title to a car, right?
Don't buy it without the logbook. You don't buy a car without what you guys have called a pink slip. We call it the logbook for us.
Right.
So you don't buy it without the logbook.
That's it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, every constant contact switch. So the real black and white answer has to be yes. You would go after them. Tracy asking some.
But you already said you own the patent on every constant contact, so it's real bright. No, I wouldn't. I mean, listen, you got to understand something. I'm trying to tell you guys this, okay? I'm not going after. The only reason why I showed that was to show people that I protect my products.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to ask a question. With regards to the patents that you've got. We've already established you do own, these patents or the filed. Are they specific to any of the parts that are involved in a mod that carries the name Purge, or is it generic?
It's generic. It's constant contact switch.
Yeah, if they say constant contact.
So in my patent, it doesn't say Purge constant contact switch. It says constant contact switch for a mechanical mech mod.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, whether the patent's carried on when you say cloners, whether it's anything that comes with Purge name.
Broad statement. Once again, and here's what I want to tell. So I want people just to relax. I promise you, I'm not out to rule the world, right? I'm not. It's not one of those things. It's one of those things where I want other people, there's enough money to go around for people to make money, right? If you're too close to my original design, my design, yes, I own a constant contact switch, which means that if the battery sits in there, right, and you push something and it makes contact, and that's called a constant contact, I own that. I own that. You can't just change a few. How are you going to make a constant contact without something touching it to make contact?
You're not.
No, because otherwise it'd already be in contact and it'd already be a complete circuit. And yeah.
So listen, I didn't do it to go fuck everybody, right? I'm going to own you. That's not me, man. I'm telling you, that's not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm like one of the most down-to-earth guys that you've ever met. I want to go out. I want to make a badass product. I want people to enjoy my product, understand that it costs me a lot of money to make my product, and know where it comes from, right? And people that are in our industry needs to be more professional in how they conduct their business. That's always been a problem with our industry. You have a lot of very young, guys who start a business who don't know anything about business. Their model is, here, let me talk shit about your company so it makes my company look good.
Well, that's one of the questions. One of the questions that a lot of people have said is with regard to these patents. Now, any good businessman, that, as you say, you don't do it because you've got friends in the industry. Why would you not include your friends with that? Let them make their own brands and take all the rest of the crap out. Surely that would be beneficial to yourself.
Because then I'm forcing them to give me money, and I'm not doing that. I'm not going to.
No, I mean, why would you not have a certain amount of specific brands that used those parts and took everybody else out of the equation? Like, I believe you said that you've got one for electronic device as well, an electronic mod.
Yeah, that was the concentrate.
Botanical extract. So any kind of botanical extracts for this first sub-ohm cart, disposable cart.
Because
it has a full utility patent.
Most of the carts, they use ceramic C-cell. That's they're like a generic thing. You can get clones of them.
Right.
And they're cheap. And that's the kind of bit that's been what everybody's used up to now. But most of them are like 1.5 ohms. So so like this is a sub-ohm one, which
2.5.
Yeah, I mean, like
it's like taking a massive rip out of a bomb.
It sounds like doing a dab. Like it's going to be more like doing a dab than actually like vaping on a cart. That's going to be, that's going to be a pretty heavy hit.
Like that. I listen. Listen, the patents won't mean a thing where it really matters. China, you're absolutely right. Here you go. Right. So here's the part. Right. This guy right here that just said that about China. China don't give a shit when it comes to patents of anything.
They give a flying fuck. They don't care.
Why do you think?
We've seen them carry BMWs.
Why do you think? Why do you think that all the countries around the world are having such a problem with China right now? Because they do not care about intellectual property. They don't
protect. They won't protect your brand. They'll sell your designs to another company if they. Do you know what I mean? Like that is the kind of thing that goes on. Is
right.
that
So the only thing they can make are knockoffs. They're the king of knockoffs. They're the king of Louis Vuitton knockoffs. These fucking, if they could make a car, a Mercedes car knockoff, they would. They would make it, right? They do.
They do.
They did a Land Rover
They
one.
clone Land Rovers. They
They
have
do
actually
make
cloned
paper.
Land Rovers. They have actually done it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's called the Land Wind.
Yeah. So yes, here's where I do protect it though, right? If you sell that product in the United States, I will get you. If you're in China and you sell in the United States and you're a retailer, right? A retailer. That's where I see my thing is I'm going after the people selling the clones, not the people buying them, right?
Yeah.
It's the people selling the clones that I want. I want the retail shops. I want the online companies. Those are the guys that I want. I want those guys because those are the thieves. Those who knowingly are profiting off of my brand, right? It's not fair. And let me tell you something. China clones their own mods. You're exactly right.
they do.
Let me tell you something. A lot of these young guys that are starting out making products, wait until they clone your shit and see how pissed off you get.
Yeah. It's just they're not at a stage where they're getting cloned yet, so it's not, you know, it's not affecting them.
You're not even on the radar. You're not. My mod's the most cloned mod in the world right now. They make it. I mean, they sell them for $30, man. It's crazy. I can't even make them for $30. I can't even make it for $30.
Can't even make a deck for $30. I mean, you know, well, just about make a deck for $30. You were saying. I mean, you know, it's that. I mean, this is the thing. What a lot of people they don't get is that people they've had stuff manufactured out in China and then suddenly their brand has been cloned, and they're not connecting the dots together. That it's the people that they've sent the CAD files and the designs over to and that have made them. They've obviously had some hand in letting them out. I mean, whether that's somebody who works there or is the company themselves, I don't know. But
let me give you a perfect example. Okay, so I had distribution rights to Armageddon to China.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went 2016, 2000. I think it was 2017. It was a few years ago, right? I think it was 2017, right? So I had a booth in China, right? And I was the sole distributor for Avid Life, Armageddon, and then Purge Mods was live then too. And my booth was massive and it was just packed, man. I mean, it was just crazy, right? And so I got out from behind my booth. I took a break and I was walking around a corner and I saw an Armageddon booth. And I said, I call Ariel, the owner, and I go, what's the deal with this? I go, bro, what the hell's going on? He goes, oh, you got to do something. I go up and I talk to the guy. The guy owns Armageddon. He stole because when I first started doing business with Ariel, I told him, you need to get your trademark in China for your company. If you don't get your trademark in China, someone's going to steal your company. They stole his company. They stole his brand. They start all those all those brands, all the Armageddon stuff is all made from another company in China, not the original owners stealing, and they stole all of his products. Stole everything, that entire booth.
I mean, I show Ariel. I've seen the video of Ariel actually there at one of the shows when he's saying to him, you know, and the Chinese woman, she turns around and says, "Yeah, we cloned it really good." Like, you know, like she was proud of it, like there was nothing wrong in what she'd done. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's absolutely just nuts that they can do that. But this is the thing, and the way that I understood it was, if you didn't actually have any sort of business in China. Yeah, the Chinese government, then they don't give a shit because you're not contributing to their economy. I mean, I remember a story about Comp Life. They went to go to a show out in China and they got told that basically if they got off the plane, they were going to be arrested for copyright infringement because...
No, that was because somebody had called the Chinese consulate and said that he had marijuana, he had CBD on his, which is illegal in China.
Wow.
I remember that whole incident. And
right.
That was the whole drama. There was no Comp Life, from my understanding, they own their like Avid Life owns their trade. If you own your trade, and I showed it in that piece of paper. If you guys watch my live, I showed it. I own the word purge.
Yeah, relating to vape load, not anything else. Obviously,
It doesn't make a difference if what font it comes in, what shape it comes in.
Yeah.
I own it. Period.
Yeah.
I own it. Right. So
Is that pertaining to the vape industry only, though?
in my class,
Within the vape
Yeah,
industry?
Vaping tobacco, yeah.
vape, tobacco, cigars, I own it. Right.
Yeah.
Anything to do with tobacco, I own it. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're doing business and you're manufacturing anything, you have to, and I'm telling you this, you have to go and listen. Once again, if you need my help, right, message me and I'll help you. I'll put you in the right direction. It's really simple. It costs about $1,500 to trademark your logo in China if it's not already trademarked. If it's trademarked in China, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. You're fucked.
I suppose one question I've got, obviously you said earlier you've got new products coming out that are going to be made in China.
I do. I do.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you know, when the whole thing with Immortal kicked off, it was like, you know, how can you command such a price when it's this mod, that's made there? Now, I believe that some good quality stuff comes out of China. You know, as me and the rest of the crew will tell you, we don't give a monkey's where anything's made. Will those products still be carrying the same kind of price that's been expected from Purge before?
No, that's what I'm doing. So here you go, right? So my RDA, I'm looking to retail my RDA at $30. My RTA, $50. It's, you know, I have to have my costs, and it has to go distro costs, and it has to go wholesale costs, and then from wholesale it has to have the retail costs to it. Everybody has to make money all the way up the chain. Everybody does, right? So of course, I want to come out with a product, an RDA, which everybody buys RDAs. They buy the next, you know, they don't want to go out and buy a new mod every week. I mean, if you lost a screw on your RDA, you're just going to go down and go buy a new one, right? $30, not that big of a deal. Go and buy a new mech mod at $300-400. That's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. So those products, those type of products, anything like these disposables, you can't compete with China on pricing. You can't. I can't make this in the U.S. I can't even compete. No one's going to buy it.
Well,
will the product that's coming from there still carry the same Purge quality?
Absolutely.
Or will there be any difference in materials or anything like that?
Let me tell you how that works. It's not like I go, hey, let me hire, you know, I know I've been doing business in China for years, dude, years. I've traveled to China dozens and dozens, and I'm that cheap. I just replaced a screw. I mean, you know, you can get screws, right? You would know some people, but I've been doing a lot of business in China, so it's very difficult. It takes a long time to really find out the right companies to deal with and the wrong companies to deal with, right? Yeah. So I have a lot of friends over there, and so I deal with the right companies, right? And so my engineers design everything, and I send them my engineering. And if they're not up to my engineering specs when they come back, I send it back and fix it.
The way that I've always seen this is that if they're using your files to make the devices with, your files that are being sent over there ready to go, they're using the right materials, they're using the same machines, right, as what somebody in America. So there's as long as the quality control is the same, because I think this is what the problem is with stuff coming out of China, is that the quality control isn't quite as good. That's the issue. But then when it gets to the actual company and they go through and they sort everything out, if there's any bad ones, they can take them out and get them sorted out and make sure they don't make it to market.
Sure.
But people, what they're doing is they're saying, okay, yeah, but people in China, there's no good machining coming out of China.
There's some amazing machining coming out of China.
That's not true.
I know. I mean, literally, I mean, Jay Hayes is one, he says it all the time. He drives me mad with it, about how China, the only good machining countries in the world are the Philippines and USA. That's it. You guys and nobody else. And it's kind of like,
I think the UK disagree with you on that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
listen, engineering, when you're talking about lathing or CNC machining, right? it's very hard to fuck that up.
It's a
right?
standard as well, isn't there?
Right,
There's like
right. So let me tell you what we do. So what I have and what I will do, which I already have set up. So this new RDA, which is going to be out, I should have my finished RDA, which is going to kill it, by the way. I'm going to throw a simple plug in there real quick. It's a postless RDA. It's badass, right? Been working on this thing for over a year. Over a year. I've been working on this thing, right? Finally got it. So what I plan on doing with my RDA when it comes back is I plan on testing the metal, having the metal sit out so I know exactly what stainless steel is used. I know exactly what materials are used on that product so that I can send back and go, hey, you didn't use the right material. They know exactly what material that they need to use, right? High quality, I for one am excited. They in CNC, if they follow my designs that I engineered, then there's no reason why this product coming back is not going to be a 100%.
I mean, for me, saying the Chinese card machine is like bordering on racism as far as, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, like what white men can't jump. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, like Chinese white men can't machine. Like, to me, it's just one of them things. But this is what happens, and a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing, And this is the thing. And like I say, people, they run wild with their imagination. Like, the amount of people, like I say, that took it, that machine shop that you were in was your own personal machine shop. You owned all of that stuff, And you never said that. You even said on the Legion video, the one before that, you even said, that you outsource stuff into a different machine shop and stuff. So I didn't understand how they missed that. And they
Everybody
still,
does.
yeah, but it's just crazy. It's like, but don't have an opinion on it if you don't know what you're talking about. If you're not going to actually listen to what's said. But people, they cherry pick facts to suit their argument.
Fake news. It's called fake news, man.
Yeah, fake news. Yeah,
Fake news.
everything fake news. I'm starting to believe
news.
that fake news is fake news now. Right? There's so much fake news about. No, I mean, it's just one of these things. A lot of people, they chat a lot of shit they don't know anything about, and that's why, we asked you to come on, because it was the easiest thing. Because like I say, everybody was like going into this tizzy saying, oh, no, that means that everybody's going to have to stop making mech mods, or they're going to have to be paying mech money and this and that and the other. And he owns these patents, he's got them. And I was like, well, there's a difference between the patents being granted and them actually being filed and stuff, and there's there's a bit more to it.
There's no difference. So here's the deal, right? When you file for a patent, you're basically saying this is my design.
Yes.
So you can go to if somebody were to come out with a product that was just like yours, you can sue them and say, take that product off the market. I've already filed it. That's not your period. You can do that, and I've done it, and I've won. Okay, I've already done it, and I just don't tell people this stuff. I handle things very business-like, and to be honest with you, most of the time, I allow people to use my stuff. Like third-party market, like guys making silver parts for my mods, right?
Yeah.
Right now, you're making a part for my mod. You should technically pay me for making my part. It's my part. You're using my engineering.
We want to hear you on about that.
No,
But, here's the deal. I don't. The reason why is because I don't want to do silver. Let them do it. Let them make some money off it. I don't care.
but you know what makes me laugh? And the thing that does me about is they call it an upgrade, right? They call it a state. Do you know what I mean? The solid silver upgrade contacts. Like it actually makes any fucking difference anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, so what? So they're saying that, first of all, your product needs improving. Is like, I mean, that's the way that I take that. It's like, so, okay, so you're saying that my product's not good enough and you're making it better. Is that?
No.
I think we all have those silvers though in different.
Yeah,
mods.
I've got some of his silvers in some of my mods, and I'll be honest, I've done voltage drop tests, not very technical, literally just put in on the post, and just said there's no difference. It might ramp a little bit faster, but it's going to bottleneck as soon as it hits the other material again, right? It's going to.
Most people will not know the difference between a silver and a copper contact.
Not unless the whole mod's made out of silver and everything's made, like that's the only way it'd ever make a difference, right?
Right.
Because
I mean, look for example here, right? So the Philippines, right? They got the plaque, right? Anybody seen the plaque? Great mod, right? Fantastic, solid silver. They sell that retail for $400. I can't even. I'm like, how the fuck can they do that? I can't even fucking buy the fucking silver.
And it's $9.99 silver as well. It's not shit silver. It's good
No.
silver. It's
Over in the Philippines, the cost of silver is pennies. Then by the time it gets to the US, it's fucking jacked up. You can't even like. Okay.
And it's about who, as you said earlier, it's about who you know, not what you know.
Exactly. The cost, you know, my slam piece, I have these silver slam pieces, right? I made a whole run of these solid silver slam pieces. The cost of silver that I had to pay for each slam piece was $1,200 before machining.
That's just for the block of silver that was machined out.
$1,200.
Shit.
And so
That's a lot of money.
People are like, oh my God, you're charging $3,000. You're charging $3,000, and all of them are coming hand engraved by Matthew Hagerman. I mean, like hand engraved, right? And I'm charging $3,000, and I can buy a plaque for $400. Well, you know what? I say, go buy the fucking plaque. Shit, go buy it. Don't buy mine. I'm telling you what my cost is. I got one of those silver slings, and they shred, dude. So,
you know, Ronald must have some deep pockets. Like. Believe me, I'm not shy of spending money on vape stuff, but $4,000 for a mod, that's a little bit.
Going back to an earlier conversation about machining in China, here's a very solid example of how machining doesn't differ when it comes out of China.
I mean,
I've owned original SQs, and I've got this one.
Great mod, great mod, fucking killer mod for a nice price.
I wouldn't know that this wasn't.
Because
no,
obviously,
they didn't tell me.
The original SQs were made in the UK, and obviously these are now being outsourced to China. And what are they, about a quarter of the price now?
Yeah, and there's no difference in the quality.
Right.
Not one little bit of difference.
So he had to. So
stay competitive.
All right, I know the guy that owns the company, right? So he had to make those over in China because he can't keep up. It's called supply and demand, right? Yeah. So make them in the UK. You can't make them as fast as you want. You can't make them as cheap as you want. If you outsource them to China, you can make them faster and cheaper, and make more money.
And put them into more people's hands, basically, because what ends up happening is if you put a product in that high-end price bracket, only a certain amount of people are going to buy that. Because not everybody's going to want to pay. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot. Hell, Yihi, Asmodus, Ultrona, all made in China.
Yep.
I mean,
I've got no issues with any of those companies.
Nope.
I like Asmodus products. I like Ultrona products.
Like, as far as I know, companies like Smoke, whatever you want to call them, they were Smoke Tech originally. They were cloners originally, I believe, same as Wismet and companies like that. And then they started making their own products at some point, you know. They were like, well, hang on a minute. We're just copying everybody else's. Why don't we, you know, make our own? And
why don't we just bung a shitload of LEDs in it and we'll sell that?
Yeah, I mean, it's got more LEDs in it than my PC, that's saying something. But it's, take it easy, Ali.
Cheers, Ali Cat. Good to see you again.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of these things, and like I say, so they've gone from being the cloning companies to actually producing mods themselves that are probably getting cloned now by another company down the road. You know, because there are Smoke clones out there. There are. Do you know what I mean?
I doubt that, bro. I'm telling you. I listen. Let me tell you something. So the owners of Geek Vape, good friends of mine. Like, I've actually been to their facility in China, Geek Vape.
Yeah.
10 stories, 2,000 employees, 10 stories high, this facility, right? So they own all of their products, the engineering, everything. And let me tell you something, they can fight their own fight within their country on cloners. When it comes to the US and the UK and other places around the world that are making their products over there and they're being ripped off, it's very difficult to fight.
If you're not paying a load of money into their economy, they're not interested in helping you put somebody out of business that is contributing money into their economy. Basically, that's
Yeah.
That's the way I've always understood it anyway,
Right.
you know. But I mean, some of these places, like the place that made all of the VGod stuff back in the day and everything, and there are, I mean, like them facilities are fucking huge. Like, you know, like the amount, I mean, it's like the amount of employees and everything, and they do everything. The salespeople, everyone, they're all working in the same place, you know. And it's like a little ecosystem. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like it completely. Your manufacturing over there is on a scale that I don't think many people in the UK, at least, well, I know in the UK, can even understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
you used to be like that.
Yeah.
Back when we were in the industrial ages in the UK and within the US, before our countries outsourced everything because we could make it faster and cheaper. We used to be like that.
Yeah.
We used to, as a country, we used to be like that. We're not like that anymore. The countries that are like that right now, China, and the next country that's coming up, he says, I pay attention to a lot of global stuff, right? The next country that is going to basically morph China, is going to make China look like nothing, is India. Right. India has way more population than China does.
Yeah. And they all smoke as well. Like, literally, they smoke a lot.
I'm talking about the manufacturing in. I'm talking about the manufacturing in.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
I'm talking about the economy. Right now, a lot of big are starting to outsource to India, and those places where, once again, the reason why they're outsourcing to India is because they're getting away with paying employees 10 cents an hour.
Yeah. Sweatshop wages, basically.
No classic saying is, why pay 2 peanuts when you can pay 1?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
In respect to that, with regards to India, you just said that you've looked into their manufacturing and stuff. Have you got any plans for including them in your manufacturing?
No. They're not at that point yet, like China is. But I can tell you right now, what they're doing is there's companies that are moving their manufacturing facilities over to
India
and investing in the infrastructure of hiring and training the Indian people who are very poverty-stricken economy, right?
Yeah. And
they'll do anything to work, right? And so they're training them on these jobs on how to manufacture and do everything over there. And really, if you can create an infrastructure and a business over there, and these people will come, you'll have the employees to work. People are smart. You know, if you're willing to work, you're willing to work, right? So it's like the UK and like the US, right? We're not willing to work like that anymore. Let's be honest, right? We're not willing to go and work for $1 an hour.
No, exactly.
Kill ourselves.
It's illegal. It's illegal. We got minimum wages over here, like, you know, right. and all this kind of stuff.
They don't have that over there. They don't have that.
No, and this is the other thing as well is, I'll be honest, a lot of people in the UK and, you know, as far as I know, as a whole are quite lazy, you know, work-wise and stuff like that. The work ethic's just not there. I've got a friend who actually owns a window company, makes the double glazing, you know, like windows for houses and stuff. And all of his employees are Polish, right? That work in the factory and everything like that. And I asked him one day why. I was like, "What? Like, why? You obviously, you know, you pay them the same amount of money because." He's like, "Because if I get a delivery comes in late, all of the English, British, Welsh, whatever guys are looking at their watch. No, I'm going home. I'm not. My day's finished. The Polish guys are rubbing their hands together, thinking about overtime and how much more money they're going to get, and they don't care." And that's what he said. He's like, they don't argue. He's like, they turn up on time. He's like, all I've got with English, Welsh, Irish, it's just a pain in the ass. He's like, you know, nobody wants to do anything. They, you know, and I mean,
not all of us.
No, not all of us. But you know, for him on a whole, I mean, he actually had to hire a foreman that spoke Polish because he didn't speak Polish himself. You know, so like the guy who ran the floor in the factory, he had to be able to speak Polish fluently to be able to deal with them. But that's what he said. He said they made the British workers look bad. You know, so for him it was a simple thing. $1 an hour is a living wage out there. Is it though? $1 an hour is a living wage out there.
You got to think about something. 80% of the economy, 80% of the people in India live in poverty.
Yeah.
80%.
Yes, like third world poverty.
Live in places that me or you would never even think of living.
Yeah, they grow up without running water, you know, without just main sewage. Do you know what I mean? Just any sort of things that we'd call creature. I mean, over here, if my internet connection goes down for an hour, I'm crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, shit, I can't get online, or you know, or whatever.
You argue that it's basic human rights, which is running water, and we're getting onto a different subject right now. But
yeah,
do you know, we're not going to get onto that. But you know,
it's all right. We
you say I
normally
need power. You say I need water. You say I need whatever.
Well, in the UK,
that's a basic human right.
Well, the internet's actually classed as a utility now in the UK. It's actually they've actually classed it as a basic human right. I mean, it's like
funny enough, half of you over there wouldn't understand what it is.
What's that?
Just saying your internet shit.
Oh right, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean.
Anyways, guys. So when it comes down to the patents and stuff, let's get back on that. When it comes down to the patents and stuff, right? The only reason why I have these patents, and I do have the patents, right? The only reason why I do it is because I protect my brand. I protect my company. I protect the distros, the people that buy and sell my product. I have a responsibility to protect the people so that I protect their interests as well as my own, right? And so, you know, if you have a company, and I say this to anybody in the vape industry, and you're not doing these steps, and yes, it's expensive. Yep. It sure is. Software engineers average wage in the U.S. around 50. You're exactly India, 15,000 USD, and that's high wage. You're exactly right. The guy just put that in there.
Yeah, that's why all of our call centers from the UK all got sent out to India and places like that.
Right.
Back to the patents, Matt. Do you know if there's been anyone sort of go against the patents in court or anything yet? Or
no one's challenged them, or
no? I mean, why would they? I mean, you really want to go to court, man? You really want to go spend $50,000-$60,000 and not get anything?
I just wondered if they had done. That was all, because obviously some people are going to be pissed.
You know, like that's an egotistical thing. If you were, unless you had like this product that, okay, because let me tell you this, right? Okay, here you go, right? In the vape industry, you know, the reason why most people don't file patents is because their products change. There's a new product on the market every 4 months.
Yeah. Product evolution is very quick.
Well, not even evolution, but look at Billet Box, for example. Everybody now copies the Billet Box.
You know, and it's crazy.
I've got a Billet Box copy in my hand right now.
Right.
But they weren't the first to do it.
So hold on a minute. Check this out. What if he would have patented his way of making that Billet Box?
Yeah, I mean, there's other companies out there that have made clones of them. I mean, there's one company, Team Knocked, right? They make like an acrylic and a stabwood version of the Billet Box, and that's not an official licensed product from Billet Box Vapor. They class that as a clone, and then you've got people that are paying $900 for them, or £700 in the UK, you know, and that's not an official licensed product. So it's something like you said earlier on. For some reason, in the vape industry, people don't seem to protect their brand as much as in other industries.
So here you go. The Billet Box was a great product. He's now allowed other people to make the same product that he did. That it was his idea, his thoughts. He got it out there, his designs. He worked his ass off to get it. Now everybody else is profiting off of his designs.
Yeah, by making accessories. Yeah.
How fair is that?
It's not fair in the slightest, is it? Quite clearly.
No, but
he hasn't got the patent, has he? So it's going to happen. I can see your point completely.
It's not.
I can see your point.
It's not fair. So, you know, here's the deal, right? If I were to build a box, I would have patented the way I have it on the tank on the ins. Like, you know what's patentable? And I'm gonna put it out there. You know what's patentable? Having a tank that's built in on the inside of a box.
Yeah. Because that is novel. That's what I was saying. Go back to the novel thing. It's got to have something that's different, distinct, novel. You know what I mean? That makes it that's the patentable thing, right? It's not the actual whole design of the but that and also I think drip tip, the way the drip tips work with the integrated tips that they have and stuff like that, that's different, completely different, whether or not
the patent
a drip tip
looks at They look at what makes your product unique. What makes the product unique is, especially the billet box, is that the tank is based basically on the inside of the box, right? And it's all engineered on the inside of the box. There's no external. And from my understanding, he was the first guy to do it.
But that's what that is.
Right.
Yeah, the dot.
Like the thing.
Right.
Yeah,
So he patented you can't put a tank on the inside of a box. Think about all these products that are coming out that he'd go, no, you're gonna have to pay me royalties.
Yeah.
Right? Not saying he would, but he has a right to.
I suppose it made business sense for him to do it.
Okay,
let's be honest.
Just think about this. If Apple came out with a product, right, that was unique to their phone, and Samsung copied it, you think that Apple wouldn't go and fight Samsung? Go, oh, we're going to war.
Well, they did, didn't they?
They did, and they paid him a fucking
a metric
ton, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's
hilarious.
Yeah, paid an next to nothing. But the joke of that all is the original iPhone design is actually designed by Sony on a contract for Apple. It wasn't Apple that even designed the original one in the first place, which is how Samsung actually won in some countries and they lost in others, because that's the way that went.
And they're not even Samsung's biggest rival. That's LG. LG is Samsung's biggest rival.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any more specific questions for Matt? Because he is a very busy man.
Yeah, we're not
going to get in there.
Yeah.
Any more specific questions, Andy?
I suppose the only one that I've got is, obviously we've said about, other places where parts are going to be made and stuff, and new products. Is there any plans for mods to be taken over there?
No.
So all mods will remain in US.
You're not going to do like a budget line or like,
I do. My V5 is only $200.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
My V5 is only $200, and I mean to tell you that is the cheapest I can get a mod. And I mean, it's as simple and as plain as I can get it. It's a V5, $200.
But the back to basic range always has been. That's been just the plain simple from the V1 right the way up, hasn't it? It's always been the sort of.
I'm not going to lie. I've owned one. I've owned a back to basics in the past.
Yeah. So have I. V2.
Yeah.
I've owned.
Yeah.
I think.
I've owned a Twisted. Twisted was a great mod.
Yeah. Love that.
I like the V1s and the V2s. I owned pretty much all of them, I think, at some point.
Yeah.
But it's one of them things. Like, you're always going to want somebody that's always going to want it cheaper. So even though you drop it down to 200, you're still going to get somebody that's going to say, right, but I only want to pay 150.
Right.
Planning on anything
You
else?
like that
Maybe.
question, Mark, didn't you?
Is he planning on anything else? Maybe this squonk take over.
Hey, listen, whoever invented the squonk, you're a dumbass for not patenting that thing, man. Are you kidding me? Oh my god.
What about the guy who invented the alien coil, Blue Eyed Goon? I mean, come on, if he'd have patented that, I wouldn't be building coils now, put it that way. But do you know what I'm saying? It's one of these things. Like, he come up with that idea and just let everybody, know.
Blue Eyed Goon? It's Blue Eyed Goon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I wish I could the self-cleaning copper. Man, I'd make a fortune off that.
I can make it.
Yeah. No more Hulk hands. No more green hands.
Would you look at the semi-mech market? What's the semi-mech market?
I think he's not talking about unregulated mods. So things. Remember, you already did this with the new I can't even pronounce it. What were they called? The box mods that you made that didn't really do very well. They were kind of like
the Ally.
No. I'm talking a few years ago now. You did box mods.
Nuve
mods. That's it. That's what he's talking about, like unregulated box mods, so like PWNs or.
Hold on. So yes. So okay. So I'm not going to say who. I am in negotiations right now with one of the largest China companies to manufacture a whole line of Purge regulated box mods. Absolutely. Tanks, coils, 200 watts, 40 watts, mouth to lungs, MTL, stuff like that. That I just can't make in the U.S. Purge, and I've waited until now. Purge is such a big name all over the world that people are asking for those products specifically for Purge. And one thing that everybody needs to know that if I do something like that, it's going to be high quality stuff. The ally that I came out with, the guy that did, and I'm not going to say his name because if I ever see the guy again, I'll probably kill him. Honestly, I almost went bankrupt over that. Like, he fucked me over so bad, it was really bad, right? So, not only was it 9 months delayed, but the paint fell right off it. I had to return so much money, and it wasn't at the quality that I wanted. The pods were fantastic, but the piece, I went to China like 5 times in like 90 days because I was furious.
Here's a question: If you release a regulated mod, are you designing a proprietary chip, or are you using an already established chip?
Oh, I would use an already established chip. I wouldn't go.
Well, like the DNA or something like that.
I would, of course,
tried and tested.
I would, of course, want to go with the best quality chip out there, a DNA something, Yeehee, something that's been on the market for a long time.
Okay.
And make sure that it is tried, true, tested. Because
I tell you what, the Dovpo chip that they made, it's very simple, but that chip is very, very good. I mean,
we all love the Dovpo chip.
Yeah, I mean,
or the gene chip from Vapers is another good one.
Yeah, it's another good one. I don't know, Vic. The Yeehee chip, I've got a love-hate relationship with that. I cannot stand
the Yeehee chip.
I've got a Rebel mod with a Yeehee chip I'm using as a doorstop. It's it's more use as that. I just can't go on with a chip you need a degree in fucking computer coding.
Dyko's chip's phenomenal.
Yeah, the Dovpo chip's great because it's simple to use, right? Yeah. People don't want to have to get a mod and go digging through instructions or watching videos for 3 hours so they can fucking get a vape. They just want to.
Yeah, they do.
All right, Vinny. They want to watch your videos.
A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know this, but these disposables are done September 8th in the U.S. They're out. You ain't getting them anymore, right? And thank God. Because this right here ruined the vape industry.
Yeah. I mean,
totally
I'll
agree.
say one of the only things I have ever agreed with Jay Hayes on.
It didn't affect us that badly, and we agree. We're on your side.
I mean, we got a 20 milligram nick cap over here, right? So they had one of their lobbyists over here trying to get our government to raise the nick cap so they could get their 60 milligram stuff in here, but that hasn't worked. I mean, we're lucky with that because I think that's one of the things that caused a lot of the problems was the kids that were getting the dual pods to vape, and they're obviously taking a few hits and holding their breath to get a bit of a head rush out of it or whatever. And we've got the cap there. It's 18 milligram with freebase and it's 20 milligram for salts.
You can get a 36, which is a mix of freebase and nick salts because they technically not breaking the law.
Right. That's a nice. See, in the UK, we love loopholes, right? We just love a loophole.
I've had a 36, which is 20 milligram nick salts, 16 milligram freebase, but they're not breaking the law because you're not over each nick cap.
It's like when they said we couldn't have the big bottles of juice anymore. We're just like, well, we won't put the nicotine in it. We got the nick shots. We do it that way.
As we've always said, I think that was a really good thing for the UK. Short fill was a phenomenal thing for the UK.
Yeah, do you know what? The price of juice.
What's your view on short fill, Matt? Would you embrace short fill over in the States?
I was just about ready to say something. I've been doing short fills in my shop for over 3 years.
Does it make it easier?
I'll tell you what, you do make a really good
because you don't have to make a 3 milligram, a 6 milligram, a 12 milligram, an 18 milligram. You don't have to make them. You can.
Not only that, but here's the deal, right? So I have a house juice line. It's like 200 different flavors that I've had when I first started, and I've never got rid of it, right? And so the FDA came into my place, and they came in and they looked at my freaking thing, and it has no nicotine in it. I said, it has no nicotine in it. I said, I can't do nothing with it. And
I think the state should embrace short fill.
I've been saying this because I've done a lot of business. I've been to Europe. I can't tell you how many times. I have business partners over there. I've been saying this to the industry over here, but the reason why they don't embrace it is because the guys in the vape industry are making too much money selling bottles with nicotine in it. And I've been saying that from day one, going, listen, shut the fuck up, put the Nick shots on the side. The FDA can't do shit about it, but don't openly say it, right? Yeah. Just do it, but don't publicize it. Because here's what the UK did that was really smart, right? You guys are brilliant, by the way, okay? So what they did was really smart is when they came down, the government came down on you guys, said, that's it, no more nicotine, flavored e-liquid with nicotine in it, right? You know what you guys did? You let them come out with their decision. They came out with it. And then what you did, you went, okay, we're going to do short fills. And you know what they did? Oh, we can't do shit about it.
Yeah.
You guys carried on. And dumb USA.
And massively dropped our juice prices and everything.
Our juice price has gone down. I mean, shelf life of juice is actually longer as well without the nicotine in it. Like once you put the nicotine in it, the juice starts degrading. It goes darker, and over time it will go black. So by storing it with no nicotine in it, you can keep it for ages.
I said this last week with Sad Boy, and I've had American Sad Boy, and I've had UK version Sad Boy. And
for the UK, the
key lime cookie, I prefer the UK version.
Yeah.
It just tastes better. It's not as dark. It doesn't ruin my coils. It doesn't ruin my cotton.
Any more specific questions for Matt, guys? Because I
think
I'd just like to get his final thoughts with regards to a message of advocacy for everybody to listen to and to put out there. You know, what is it that Matt Kleizo and Purge want for the vape community going forward?
You know what I want is I want everybody in the vape industry to run their businesses professionally. I want them to understand that the more professional that our companies are, the better off our industry and the more money that you're going to make in the long run, right? Because you're not in the vape industry and you don't run your business not to make money. You run your company to make money. And so, with that being said, advocate, with your local officials. Keep doing that. I'm big on that. And run your business very professionally. Don't do it don't just come in here just to make money and then just leave. If you're going to come in the vape industry, do it because you love it and it's something that you really want to help people to quit smoking and just run it professionally, man. That's it. That's it. And if you guys, and here's the deal. Any of the MechMod companies, anybody out there that needs some advice on how to navigate, maybe getting your own patent or whatever, I can point you in the right direction. I can help you. I have my lawyers in the UK. I have lawyers in China. I have lawyers in the US that handle all my stuff. I could put you on to the lawyers, put you in the right direction for you guys to not only protect your brand, but also to flourish. And listen, if there's a way that I can work with you, I'd love to work with you. And it's not working against you, it's working with you. Hey, if I can help your brand grow, wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would. I wish somebody else, because I had to climb and grip and claw, right? Somebody else grabbed me up and put a hand up. I'd love to help people grow their business, So
a lot of people like to see others fail, though. I mean, there's something. Some people, that's just the way they are. They just like to see other people fail.
You know what? Someone told me this a long time ago, and he was worth, I don't know, probably about a billion. He was almost a billionaire. He said, if you help 5 people become financially independent, you'll never have to worry about money. You'll never have to worry about money. So, my goal is to, help people, to make money. And I don't have to worry about money at that point. If you're making really good money, you're working with me, we're all we're all having fun. Times get tough for everybody, and it's really the guys who dig in. And like we had to last year, I went through a big hurdle. I went from 44 employees down to 11. Now we're rebounding back up. That's a smart businessman. When you stay in business during really rough times where most people would have just shut up, shut down everything. But we're still here and we're pumping out more stuff now than we ever did. Man, we're coming out. And listen, if I can help people make some money, come on, man. Let's go make some money. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Hey.
Just a quick question from a viewer, Matt. Will you be at the next UK Expo if it goes ahead?
Absolutely.
It'd be good to have you over here for one. It really would be.
Absolutely. You know, listen, as soon as it's okay for us to go travel and we can start doing it, man, I need to get out there and start traveling, man. Get out there and see everybody and you know and start, you know, working, man. I got a line of glass, you know, like I moved into manufacturing my own bongs and shit, right? So
there's a big market. There's a big market for it. I mean, you know.
The bad part, as soon as I launch it, it's STNR Creations, Stoner Creations. STNR is the name of it. As soon as I launched it, COVID hit. I'm shelved it right now. So it's sitting there. I sold out of all my product. And basically I'm waiting till the shows come back up so I can start hitting those shows. So all the cannabis shows.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a show that you have got an invite to, and that will be our virtual expo that we did back in May, which was quite successful. You have an open invite to come back on that. We are running that in line with a charity that we're raising funds for. So you've got an open invite to come to that. We'll send you the details.
It's been a pleasure to have you on.
Appreciate it, guys.
It's been really insightful, Matt, and you've answered every question that was going.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, you know, there was a lot of questions. I mean, like I say, like yesterday, my inbox on Messenger was just it was ridiculous. I mean, like, you know, it was
I said it when I did my live feed. I said, man, some people are going to be really pissed off with what I'm about ready to show you.
I think we wanted to clear it up. We just wanted to.
I promise you, I didn't do this to like be like a put anybody. I did it because I'm protecting my brand. Could I?
The problem is you've got a couple of people that will take that and they'll run with it and they'll be like, he's doing this because he's trying to patent everything in vaping. He's like trying to be the so you monopolize everything in vaping. You know, this is what people have said. Like that was the general thing of what people got was like, you know, because you know, if you wanted to, you could stop them. You could stop them making certain products and this and that and the other. And that's how they took it. And, you know, and I kind of felt that wasn't really the case, you know, because, I mean, talk about a good way to alienate people, like, you know, I mean, it's I mean, that's all, as far as I'm concerned, if you did that, you'd turn yourself into the most hated company in vape. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody would be like, what the fuck is this guy?
I'm giving everybody an open invite to message me. And if you guys want to work together to where I can help you make more money than what you're already making, let's do it. I want to help you, right? But you got to be a solid person, man. I don't do business with just anybody.
Yeah.
If you're a shitbag, I'm not doing business with you. Trust me, and I do a lot of research before I do business with people. I just do. I find out who they've done business with, if they, you know, if this happened. Listen, man, you know, from last year, I was in a lot of debt last year. I'm still paying people back from last year. Still paying people back. I was $1 million in debt from last year. Right? $1 million. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Right? So, but the problem is that you climb out of that debt. It's business. You know, okay, I took a big hit. I'm in it. I got to freaking either I fold, walk away.
You got to roll with the punches, you know. You got to
roll with the punches. You know, everybody in the vape industry in the U.S. took a massive hit last year.
Yeah,
massive.
Yeah. I know that was it's not just you. That's every sort of company. Like they all had the same issues. You know, like you know, everybody. And I think that's kind of like a worldwide thing as well. I mean, maybe not in China, place like, but I know that in the UK,
it was worldwide.
Yeah, everything went to a standstill. You know, and it's hard, I suppose, for the smaller companies to stay alive in times like that. You know, I suppose like so. You know, like it's smart business, like you say, to reduce down and then put production back up. I mean, I think that, like we were talking about billet boxes earlier on, like he literally can't keep up with demand. Like they sell out every week. He's actually stopped wholesale now worldwide. Like he won't wholesale to anyone. The only place you can buy them now in the world is direct off their website. That's it. you know, because it was one of these things where he couldn't keep up with the demand to wholesalers. And then he was thinking, well, I mean, I assume this is what he must have thought was, well, I'm selling them there and I'm losing half my profit. I can sell all of these at full retail myself. And he's kept it all in-house.
Right.
Matt, thank you very much, brother. It's really appreciated that you actually came on tonight and cleared the air for everybody. It's a big hand for Matt for doing that. Thank you very much, brother.
Yeah, massive. And you're welcome back.
Anytime.
You're welcome back.
I look forward
definitely.
to once all this craziness is over with, we can all return to normal. Let's go and have some fun, man, and hopefully I'll be in the UK shortly. I'm hoping next year will be the year that we get to go out. I get to UK, and we can all put all this craziness behind us. And
our expos, the ones at Birmingham, are awesome as well. You know, like it's
Birmingham Expo is the bomb, man.
Yeah, literally. You know, we've had some good times. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
But like I say, we do the virtual expo, which, as I say, you know, you're more than welcome to take part in.
Completely free, no charges.
We don't charge anything for it.
Over time, promote your brand. Do what you want.
Yeah, basically. And
then I will do, Matt. I'll let you know.
All right, guys.
Right. Thanks, Matt. You can
Cheers,
get
Matt.
off, buddy. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Matt. Much appreciated.
Thank you for your time.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye, Matt.
See you later.
Wow, what a show!
Yeah,
great show.
Definitely answered all the questions and the little things.
Hope that's cleared some things up for the people that are all running around screaming that the whole vape industry was going to be shut down because he was trying to patent everything. I hope that's now going to stop everybody crying.
I should.
I hope everyone enjoyed the show because I found that show really interesting. It was actually news to all of us and this, that, and the other. So
yeah, and it'll stop all the questions coming to my inbox now. I'm just going to say, go watch, go see.
Yeah, just go watch the show. It's awesome. So,
but tune in next week.
Yeah,
because
we have another special guest.
Yeah,
we're not going to mention who right now. I don't think.
No, not yet.
It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise. So
a big surprise. Another one.
Yeah.
I think he bring it to you.
Right then, Josh, hit the outro, buddy. Thank you all for watching.
Yeah, thanks very much, everybody.
Love and respect to all. I hope you found that as interesting as I did.
Thanks for Matt coming on and all the panel as always. And take it easy.